All right, welcome back. Without wasting any time, we are here. I am joined by two beautiful and brilliant ladies who are going to be here to help me disseminate the conversation around mental health. Really, do I just want to say mental health? Because I feel like it's a big umbrella that hosts all of the conversations that we are going to have. So without wasting any more time, I want them to say hello. Both of them are called Mukamis, which is so cute. And then both of them are wearing glasses, white t-shirts. You're just screaming warmth. Thank you. You have brought such a sense of warmth to the studio this morning. So we start with Milka Mukami.
Oh, hi. My name is Milka Mukami.
Yes.
I am a student in Kenyatta University.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I have worked with Mentor 360 since May of last year. I am specifically in Nakujali project, and my role there is Arafiki, which we will get to disseminate as we go on.
Exactly, yes, because I wanted to ask that question. So thank you for preempting. I am going to ask that question.
Okay.
Yes, Mukami.
Yes, Karen.
Yes. Please say hello this morning.
Thank you so much, Karen, for having us on your show this morning. We're really excited to be here.
You're welcome.
My name is Mukami Monyoke.
Yes.
I'm a psychologist and the program manager at Mental 360. Yes. Really, this conversation is very encouraging for me as a psychologist and also a mental health advocate. Yes. To see you guys using your platform to advance and amplify mental health conversations. So thank you so much.
You're most welcome. We are big time pioneers and advocates of mental health conversations, because what are we without it? So we really do take it seriously. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. I want us to start from there, and from you specifically. You are a psychologist. What inspired you to get into psychology? Let's start from there.
Yes. So really, my story is that growing up, I lived through an experience where I had an uncle who was suffering from schizophrenia. Yeah. But as a young child, you don't really understand what that is. Yeah. So you're seeing your uncle being very crazy and out there. Those are the terms that as a child you're thinking, he's crazy. He's walking around collecting dirt and plastics, and people are chasing after him. Yeah. I'd see him being bound by ropes. Just for people to restrain him and all of that. So that really grew a curiosity in me to really understand what is going on. Why is my uncle like this? Yeah. Why is the community around us very scared of him? So when I got to university and saw a course called counseling psychology, I knew this is it for me.
This is it. This is what I want to do with my life.
Yes, I really want to understand this thing and provide support for people going through mental illnesses and mental health challenges.
Yes. I think that's a very, very good place to start our conversation right there. So far, how have you found it? Was it everything you were hoping it would be?
Wow, it's more than I thought it would be. I mean, when you go to school and learn about counseling and psychology, that theoretical bit of it feels very soft and very easy. But once you get on the ground and start doing the work, it's totally different. It's like amplified 10 times. But it's been very rewarding to see because you work with someone from a point of struggle to a point where they become resilient, where they're able to make enjoyable, find their life enjoyable, and make very informed choices about their life. So seeing that progress in a client, that is very, very, very fulfilling for me.
Wow, that must be, because that is quite the journey. To help someone build resilience of all things, it can be quite tasking. So we appreciate your services to all of your clients and to us who get to be on the other side of that information. We really appreciate what you do. Milka, what are you studying here at Kenyatta University?
I'm studying education, Bachelor of Education.
What subject?
Mathematics and physics.
Okay.
I always like saying that because we get that reaction.
Exactly. I'm a smart girl. Thank you. Wow, that is amazing. In what year are you?
I'm in my 4th year, second semester, so final.
So you're actually clearing school.
Yes.
Wow, that is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank
for,
you.
Getting through the course. Let's start from the top. I want to ask about Rafiki, but before I do that, Mentor 360. I think Mukami will take us through that. What is Mentor 360? What do they deal with? You as a project manager, disseminate Mentor 360 for us.
Sure. So Mentor 360 is a youth-led, youth-focused non-profit mental health organization.
Yes.
So our mandate is to raise awareness on mental health matters, to provide support and resources to at-risk individuals and communities so that we are able to improve their mental health outcomes.
Yeah.
So like I've mentioned, we are youth focused. So that means that our target audience are the youth.
Are the youth.
Yeah. And someone might ask, why are we targeting the youth?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you realize that in Kenya, the majority of the population, more than half of the population, is made up of young people.
Yes.
And statistics and data are showing us that a lot of the mental health challenges are being experienced by the same
young
yes.
people.
So the group that makes a majority of our population is still the one that is the most vulnerable to mental health challenges, mental illnesses, and suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is why this is our target population, because they're very vulnerable and because we are the majority of this country.
Yes, I mean there are many that by itself should be a point of concern, because you do not want your greatest percentage of the population being affected by something, because those numbers are coming in honestly unrealistic forms. You know, you hear about the suicide cases and you're like, what? Those are like, they are massive, huge numbers. So I definitely think Mentor 360 is at the right place and having the right conversations.
Yes.
Milka, how did you come by Mentor 360? How did you become a Rafiki of Mentor 360, and what does that mean?
Okay, mine was through conversation. So our main emphasis is conversation saves lives.
Yeah.
So in this specific scenario, I was conversing with a friend of mine who is a psychologist by profession, and she was following Mentor 360 for a while.
Yeah.
So she posted, there was a poster by the organization that they were looking for volunteers 25 and under who live in Kiambu and have had personal experiences with either suicide ideation, suicide attempts, or just mental cases, mental health issues and complications. So when I saw that, it called to me, and because I have had my lived experiences and I wanted a channel where I can explore that niche. So that's why and how I got into Mentor 360 and specifically under the Nakujali project. About Arafiki and who Arafiki is, it is as simple as the name is. It's a friend, it's a it's a confidant, it's someone you can trust, it's someone you can rely on. But now in this specific scenario, in matters involving mental health, so someone who you can entrust, you can ask for advice. And the complicated part about it and the sophisticated part about it is the friend that you're confiding in, I as a Rafiki and those who we will be working with in different constituencies, is capable to empower you as a person. And that's the major definition of a Rafiki.
So does their capability, is there any form of training, or it is from the experiences they have had?
I don't think you can isolate the two, because with experiences, you are able to empathize.
Yes.
It is easier for you to put yourself in someone else's shoes if you have, you know, understood their life and you've gone through some share of that. But there are also workshops where I'm representing Ruiru constituency. There's a Rafiki representing Lari, someone is representing Juja, and we all come together and we share those experiences within those workshops. So that's the glue that brings us together and helps us do our work as Rafikis.
Exactly. I think that is perfect combination, because like anything, I think I was having a conversation with a friend of mine talking about parenthood and how only we were having a conversation around how non-parents, people who are not parents yet, advise parents. And it was almost like you sort of need to experience parenthood for yourself, for you to have staunch, strong opinions. It's not like people who do not have children should not have opinions about children, but staunch, concrete opinions. Like, you sort of have to have the experience for you to be able to even sympathize with and empathize with the whole situation. And I think it goes that goes the very same for mental health and mental illnesses and conversations around mental health. With experience, you're able to empathize and sympathize better. Okay, so let's talk about Nakujali. So Nakujali is a branch of Mentor 360.
Yes,
okay,
it is one of the projects.
Okay, it's one of the projects.
Yes.
So take me through.
Okay. Yes. So when you look at the suicide rates in Kenya, I mean, there's not enough data really showing the real situation in the ground. But 2 years ago, the DCI gave data on what was going on in the country, and they reported on 483 cases of suicide by then. And out of these 483 cases, 109 of these cases were accounted for by Kiambu County.
That is alarming. I actually came through that as I was preparing for this conversation, and I was like, what? I really didn't know that we are that badly off as a county, as Kiambu County in general.
And also, there's another statistic that says that suicide is the second leading cause of death among the young people. Right? So the Nakujali project is really informed by these statistics, or rather the lack of data to show what is actually happening on the ground. So it's a suicide prevention intervention, and this project seeks to address strengthening social support systems and empowering youth with lived experiences to become youth champions in their communities. So like Mukami has just said, we are currently working with different youth with lived experiences from the different sub-counties of Kiambu.
Yes.
Okay. So what we are doing is that we are empowering them. We are using their story, of course with their permission.
Yes.
They are willing to use their story as a voice to support other youth within their communities and within the larger Kiambu County and ultimately in Kenya. And what we're doing is that we are empowering them through taking them through training. So we will train them on how to provide psychological first aid. We will train them on how to conduct social support systems and groups. We will train them on how to identify when someone is struggling with suicide, when they're going through mental health challenges or a mental illness.
Yes.
We will also train them on, after they identify another youth who's going through these challenges, how they can refer and offer them, link them with care and support that is necessary for them at that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems that is wholesome, because like you said, the suicide cases already by themselves, and I'm sure you guys being at the ground are probably having higher numbers than what we are even seeing on our our TV stations, radio stations, the statistics out there. You might be dealing with much. I wanted to ask Mukami for a favor. Would you be able to share the experience that makes you a Rafiki, or rather what was your connection that made you a suitable Rafiki?
Wait, in the lived experience
Yes,
sense?
in the lived experience sense.
Okay, yeah, I don't mind sharing it at all.
Please do.
Because as Mukami has said, with their consent, our stories help young people who have these experiences to know, first of all, I am not alone.
Yes.
This is something that is happening to other people like me. And then on another sense, to empower them, because this person has overcome this challenge that I felt to be so big. And they're here. And they're actually working in the field to make sure that people are getting the help that they deserve. So in 2019, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And it was a hard time for me because, like I said, I don't know, I had no prior experience.
Yes, like at all. You're moving from zero to a very solid diagnosis that is, that can be hard.
It is hard, but there was also social support around me. My family was very supportive. They reduced stigma around it because they accepted me for that. And they helped me get the care that I needed. So after that, I went through my medication and my psychiatric treatment, and I took my medication and I finished. And then after that, there is also the psychological perspective, because you get medicated, but your brain also needs some help. So I got counseling, and that helped me to get, acceptance about this whole situation. And after that, after learning some coping mechanisms and got comfortable with the idea, this opportunity came about.
Exactly. So question, let me take you back a little bit. What made you, or rather what science or what pushed you to go and get actually diagnosed? Like what was happening in your life that you thought, okay, I think I might need hospital help?
Well, sometimes that is the best case scenario. I think you have explained it or described it in a very fantasy kind of because the real world is a bit more brutal than that.
Chaotic.
Yeah, it is chaotic because for me, I had like the episode comes like a meltdown.
Yeah.
So when that happened, my roommate was capable of calling my parent and saying, I think your child is not okay. So at that time I was currently in Mombasa.
Yeah.
So my father came in and he identified quickly what was the situation, and then they took me to see a psychiatrist. And that's when the diagnosis came in. So sometimes it just is not as beautifully put as we can, hope for. But with those scenarios, you just become a phoenix. You go through a very tough time, and that hardens you and it gives you thick skin, and it helps you now to do this work that we are doing right now.
To be able to do the work that you're doing. Okay, the part B of my question, Mukami mentioned, and also you have mentioned about psychological first aid. Like the fact that even after you're done with your medication, your physical medication, you need to go through counseling. How important, like I want to start with, how do you identify that medically I am fine, but my mental state is not yet up at par with my body?
I think how you would identify that, and I'll try and give it in my own perspective and my own experience. When you're taking your medication, you can feel like the adverse effects are reduced.
Yes, they are wearing off.
Exactly. But then there's still like a dissonance in your mind that you feel like, I feel like I'm getting better, but not really. Like you can't specifically and confidently say I'm doing well. And that's when you now start to examine your conscience. So that's where mental awareness is important. Because now with that mental awareness, you'll be like, I don't think everything is okay, and I think now here I need non-medicative measures, preventive measures, counseling measures, and that's how you identify the difference between the two.
Exactly. I'm asking this because I know a lot of people might be watching out there, and if we've really pushed for go to hospital, get a psychiatrist, get diagnosed professionally, but think our mental state is left a little bit behind. So that is a conversation that we ought to have, so that we are at par, so that now you can move from a patient to an actual rafiki, that is fully recovered, and you can be able to extend the same hand to someone to move from their struggling state to a person that can actually be able to help other people. Okay, so what activities are there in Nakujali? I know now we have Rafikis, we have identified that in different constituencies. What activities are there in Nakujali that help, with the whole conversation?
Yes, maybe I can just start from the point of translating the word Nakujali to English, because some people may not even know what Nakujali means.
Thank you.
Nakujali is a Swahili word which translates to English, I care. So we are saying that we care about you, that you are significant, that you are worthy, that you deserve to live, that you deserve to live a life that you enjoy, a life that you find fulfilling for yourself. Okay. So what activities we'll be doing? Number one, this project, really, for it to be sustainable and for it to be impactful, the Rafikis need to be at the forefront. They need to be center and front of this project. Okay, so as Mental 360, we offer a very supportive role in providing these trainings, and then we release them to go back to their communities, because they are residents of Kiambu. They come from these communities. So what they'll be doing is that they'll be holding support groups for other youth who are going through these challenges, mental health challenges, and who are struggling with suicidality. When you're going through a mental health challenge, or when you're experiencing suicidality, because this is a highly stigmatized topic, and because it's deeply held in taboo, when people don't talk about this conversation.
No, we do not.
So it's very easy for someone who's experiencing this, a youth out there experiencing this, to feel really alone, to feel like no one understands me, that there's just no way out. They become very hopeless and very helpless. But bringing back the social connection, bringing back that sense of belonging, that sense of acceptance, that sense of we see you, we understand what you're going through, we are here to support you, we are here to walk with you, then that brings a hope to them. That brings a sense of optimism that, you know what, I can walk this journey with this support that is being offered to me.
Yes.
So that is the main thing that we are going to be doing. It's saying there is support for you through these support groups where youth can come together and discuss through these challenges that they are going through, support one another. You know, we learn from one another.
Yeah.
So in these support groups, there's going to be a lot of modeling that will be happening. So listening to Mukami's story and saying, oh, at this point, this is what really helped Mukami. This, I can also get there.
Yes.
And the one who's behind you also learning from another person. So it's really learning from one another. And it's saying that, you know, this group of people can have the solutions to this crisis that is happening.
True.
You know, I know the situation in our country right now is that we do not have enough professionals to take care of everyone.
That is true.
So we need to come back to the ground and empower people who are going to support immediately, who are going to offer immediate support to anyone who's
And who
struggling.
are accessible,
And who are
accessible.
easily accessible.
Yes. I think that is a very important conversation, because it's bringing me back to the Rafikis. We are showing these people that this thing happens. It is actually common to you, because I think among the many reasons for suicide is the fact that you think you're alone and nobody can understand and nobody can be in your shoes. So I think we are trying to remove that bandage off and to show this is not just you. People have been here, they have gone through that, and in fact they have come out on the winning side of this whole conversation, which I think is really important, because in each and every of the suicide cases we've had, the element of aloneness has been very significant. That someone was loneliness, that someone was in a group of people, the friends have no idea. Someone was in a campus like this one, the very best friend had no idea. The family members had no idea. So I think Nakujali and the Rafiki system is removing that. It's removing that completely to tell you we are here and we care. Let's get a little bit murky and just go through, how do you identify that someone is going through suicidality?
Yes. So there are risk factors and there are warning signs that indicate that someone is really struggling with suicidal thoughts or suicidal attempts. So one of the very first factor that you can begin to look at is that you see somebody who feels that their life is very meaningless. So they don't find meaning in their life anymore. They don't see why they should continue to live. So that is very indicative that someone is contemplating suicide. Another sign that you would see is someone becoming very irresponsible and very reckless with their behavior. So when you're crossing the road, for example, you'll be very keen to check out, is there an oncoming car? So you look like left and right, you know, just to ensure that when you cross the road, it's safe for you to cross. But someone who's experiencing suicidal thoughts, that is the least of their concerns.
They will just cross.
So they just cross.
Which is abnormal behavior that you can actually be able to see. Because I think we are trying to see signs that we can identify well in advance. So I hope that you guys are listening and picking a thing or two, because this is literally the gap between someone we said committing, dying by suicide, and someone actually living through it and coming out on the other side and actually having an enjoyable life. I like the way Mukami put it that an enjoyable life, a life that you find meaning in. Okay, you can proceed.
Okay. So another sign would be somebody constantly talking about death. So they are talking about, how would it be if I died? You know, how would that look like? What if I die? But then I'm thinking, on the day I die, that this and this should happen. So somebody engaging in a conversation around death, that's a risk. That should tell you that something is not right with this person. Okay. Another factor is somebody starting to give off their possessions. You know, you wake up every day, you go to work, you hustle, you're looking for something to call your own. Yes. But now this person is now giving all of these things away very easily. They're either leaving it to their family or distributing it among their friends. So that is again another sign that this person is going through suicidal thoughts or contemplating suicide. Another risk factor is someone withdrawing from their social connections. So this is where there's a marked difference. This is someone who was very social, who enjoyed hanging out with their friends, who, you know, the life of the party. Yeah. But suddenly they are withdrawing. Suddenly they are isolating. Suddenly it's very hard for you to find them and have a conversation with them. So that's another sign to show you that everything is not all right with this person.
Right there, does that mean that it's easier to identify that specific trait from an extrovert than from an introvert? Because if now, if that person was the life of the party, like you put it, it's very easy to realize, Milka is no longer, you know, around or as lively or even around us as much. But what happens to introverts who in the very first place, you see them once on a lecture, you see, you know, you see them like you wouldn't tell if they are around or not. Yeah.
So it's very important to realize that the thing is marked difference.
Yes.
So marked difference is the extreme and extreme.
Yes.
So even that introvert, they have people who they
have their
talk
moments.
to. Yes.
True.
They have people who they talk to. They have their inner circle, their friend group, who they engage with. They may not engage with everyone, but they have that friend group where they engage with and have their social interactions with.
All right.
So if you see even that introvert, now withdrawing even from that, it could be very small social engagements for them. Withdrawing even from that, then that should tell you even that introvert is really struggling.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So there are ways. I like that because it was my center question sort of, because I really wanted us to see. To see those signs, to be able to identify that someone, because these cases of someone died by suicide, and the immediate people around them could not tell, including a fiance, including a wife, including a husband, a mom, a dad, that we were in the same house, and then somehow they say, we had no idea. While clearly we can see that there are some signs that are identifiable from very far. Like you've said, there are markers, like you can be able to tell it's from one extreme to the other extreme, and it can be pointed out. So this is not just for Rafikis, it is for all of us, because all of us have family members, all of us are in relationships. You have a fiance, you have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a BFF, a friend. You can be able to point these things out and be able to point that person to help. So as Rafikis and as Mentor 360, after the trainings, you send your Rafikis out there. What happens? Like, is there a system of finding people that are struggling, and when they do find them, are they able to bring them back to the Nakujali project, or how does it go once they are out there and they have begun identifying people that actually need help with suicidality? Yeah.
So as Mentor 360, we also recognize that we cannot do this alone.
Yes, that is true.
So we are collaborating and partnering with key stakeholders within Kiambu County. So this can be the county government, this can be CBOs within Kiambu, this can be youth organizations that work to raise awareness on mental health. So from these groups, then we are able to partner with them so that when they come across other people within their communities who are struggling with this, they can refer them to the Rafiki within that constituency, within that sub-county, to come and engage in that now social support setting for them. Because Mokami, for example, may not be able to tell that in my sub-county, that one and that one and that youth are the ones struggling with suicidality, you know. So we really have to collaborate with other organizations that are grassroots organizations within these sub-counties, so that they can help us identify who these people are. Even the church, you know, you realize so many people who are going through mental health challenges go and have a conversation with their pastors or with their religious leaders. So even these pastors and religious leaders are very key stakeholders in our project, because they are able to refer these people who come to them to
Rafiki that can actually be able to offer
Yes.
to offer help. So this is sounding like a social kind of thing. You have to network, you have to connect with these people and the church, like we have said, religious leaders, there youth groups here and there, so that all of us now are attacking this thing all together. Yes, I want to go back to Milka for a bit. I know you have dealt with a number of people, I want to call them patients, who have been struggling with suicidality. How has that experience been, and have you been able to identify, oh, we moved from point A, right now we are closer to Z than we are to A, which is suicide, worst case scenario?
Thank you. I think that will happen when we have the support groups.
Yeah.
Because right now we are still in the incubation phase. So any experience I would give here would be my personal experience, or the experience of people who have shared their stories with me.
Yes.
But on like a professional standpoint and the standpoint of the Nakujali project,
Yeah.
we are still in incubation.
Yes.
So I do like how you phrased it, that you would be able to tell these are the steps that someone is moving at.
Yes.
Like as a teacher, I understand when I start teaching you a
Exactly.
specific subject,
Yes.
I see you grasping concepts,
Yeah.
and then that is a continuous process.
Exactly.
And just as Mukami has said, we are collaborating with very many people, and that will be the support that we are going to offer as Rafikis
Yes.
to the people we will be handling.
Yes.
There's also something I wanted to add, especially on the risk factors.
Yes.
We express them very well, and I like that you asked the question about introverts.
Yeah.
I am an introvert myself,
Yes.
so that is a very nice thing to try and explore,
Yeah.
because there's also this thing of extreme happiness.
Yes.
So as a symptom or as an indicator of someone contemplating suicide, you can be extremely happy. And the reason for that is you now know your troubles are coming to finality, like
Yeah.
you're about to let all that go. So you're very excited.
Yeah.
And then that's why someone asks, we were with them just yesterday.
They were so happy.
They were so happy. But now what happened, we can't
Yeah.
tell.
Yes.
So that is also something to look out for. Especially like my experience with manic episodes were,
Yes.
it goes on both ends.
Yeah.
There's neutral ground, and then there's extreme happiness and extreme sadness.
Yeah.
So once it goes off that radar, then now you can identify.
Tell. Yes, thank you for pointing that out, because I think that is a sign or a symptom that we have not been able to talk about at length, and
Yeah.
like you have said, that's something we could explore,
Yeah.
because it's not just on the negative, like Mukami has put it. It could also be extreme happiness that somehow does not seem to suit the, that where we are, because life is life. It's always it's not on the edge, but it is a combination of everything. So once we start getting off to the edge, then you can be able to really know someone needs help. Okay. What is the future of Nakujali? Because I'm imagining this will forever remain a branch of Mentor 360. What does the big picture look like when Nakujali has been there for 5 anniversaries? What do you want to look and see?
Yeah, so one of the big things that we are looking at is the sustainability of this project and the scalability of this project.
Yes.
And that is why we need to work with people who are residents of these counties that we want to work in.
Yeah.
So for example, in Kiambu now, we are working with Rafikis who are from this county. So that ensures that there's sustainability, there's a sustainability aspect to it. Also just working with other organizations from Kiambu, that ensures this project goes on for generations to come, even when Mental 360 steps out. So Mental 360 will not be leading this project forever. Okay.
Yes.
We are bringing it to life and then providing support for it to stabilize.
Yes.
Once it's stable, it continues to run.
Yeah.
Okay. And what we do for the Rafikis, because this is a very sensitive and heavy subject, we also provide support for the Rafikis through debrief sessions for them and one-on-one therapy sessions for them. Now, the scalability angle of this is that because we said suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people, we have started with Kiambu because this is the highest county right now in Kenya.
Where the numbers are.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, but the trend is still growing in other counties as well.
Yeah.
So we are really looking at going into different counties, running this and implementing this project as well, so that we save this generation.
Exactly.
Because 10, 20 years to come, we are the people who will be the driving force of this nation.
Exactly.
So we need us to be healthy. Yeah, we need to be
Yes.
healthy here so that the community is also healthy as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Same question to you, Mukami, but as a Rafiki.
As a Rafiki.
Yes, as a Rafiki, and from your experience, from your shared experience with friends, 5-10 years from now, what would you like to see Nakujali become?
I think I want to see Nakujali become a community. So from my experience with the Rafikis that we cooperate with,
Yeah.
it has felt like a family. Like somewhere I can go, talk about why I am stressed, why my previous week was difficult, and then someone listens to me, because sometimes even just listening
Yeah.
is helpful.
Exactly.
So that is a community that Nakujali is going to build.
Yeah.
And then now we are going to transfer what we have learned from each other.
Exactly.
The sense of community, the sense of support, the sense of care, and then we transfer that now to the society. And because it is transferable, whoever comes for the support group, because we will be having community mobilizations,
Yes.
we will be having support groups within our constituencies where we will meet periodically and have conversations,
Yes.
assess the needs of those who are going to be in our support groups. So it is transferable. Those people who will join will learn the skills that we have gained, or we will gain from the training, and then they will continue. You know, it's a lineage.
Exactly.
It's a generation of knowledge.
Yeah, and that definitely also guarantees longevity of
Exactly.
Nakujali, because you keep getting people in, getting them trained, streamlining the process.
Yes.
And like Mukami is saying over here, we're going to be 10-20 years from now, we're going to be a very healthy, lot of people. Yes, hopefully, that is the hope that we are all hoping to get there. Back to you again, Mukami, the future of Mentor 360. We talked about Nakujali as a branch, but Mentor 360 generally. What do you guys want it to look like?
Yes. So our mission as Mental 360 is to strengthen psychosocial support networks by empowering youth with lived experiences to become mental health champions.
Yeah.
So we have different programs that we currently are implementing, and all of these programs are informed by this mission. So we currently have 4 programs, and one of the programs that we run is called Affordable Counseling and Psychosocial Support.
Yes.
So in this program, again, we target the youth, but anyone at risk can always come in.
Yeah.
So we offer one-on-one therapy services. So this is either physical or virtual sessions.
Yeah.
And we also run a helpline number, which is 0710 360 360. So through this helpline number, anyone who is in crisis can always call in, and
Yeah.
they get psychological first aid.
Yes.
And anyone who'd want counseling services, they're able to be linked to a therapist and
Yes.
have sessions.
Yeah.
So for this model, we use a tiered business model where we understand that different people are on different levels of this pyramid.
Yes.
So there are those at the bottom, there are those at the middle, and there are those at the top. And so we do not discriminate against anyone who comes in our doors or through our doors seeking for therapeutic services
Yeah.
because of their financial capacity. We also have another program that is called Boma Wellness Clubs, and this is a program that targets adolescents in high school, so people within the age group of 13 to around 18 years.
Yes.
So it's a program that promotes preventive mental health.
Yeah.
Again, data shows that a lot of mental health issues begin manifesting during the teenagehood years.
Yes.
So, and there's a saying that says prevention is
It's
better than cure.
Yeah. If in fact we can be able to prevent that generation, so that now we're just dealing with people who are here already and forward. The new ones that are coming in healthy, the better.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So we provide them, again, we go in and create a safe space for these high schoolers to begin to have conversations.
Yeah.
At Mental 360, we say conversations save lives.
Yeah.
So we create a safe space for them to begin to have open discussions, open and authentic discussions about their struggles in school. They are able to get social support again from one another. And then they are also able to have referral pathways for anyone who's struggling and needs to see maybe a psychiatrist, maybe a psychologist. So we provide, this space provides them with a referral pathways for these students to get any help that they need.
And I think that is a perfect place to catch them. I think it was a TikTok I was watching about someone talking about the way their high school experience traumatized them.
Yes.
Just in general, yes, it's on the edge of the, like we are saying, on the edge of that conversation, but it was a truly traumatizing experience, from paraffin in food to a lot of beatings that cannot be explained. So I think the Boma wellness is definitely something that should be there. And also I feel like we should have you guys for conversations here on Mentor 360, because I feel like the affordable counseling is a whole interview by itself. Let's start from there. Then you go now to the teenagers, 13 and 18. That's a whole other different conversation. So I would like to just ask you to make time. If you can make time, I would like us to come and have those conversations on all the branches of Mentor 360, a branch at a time, because I feel there's a lot to debunk. I know today we are debunking suicidality and everything that is going on with Nakujali, but I think the other branches are also as important, because the inaffordability of counseling is also a huge issue in this country. So then Mentor 360 is about to, it's about to spread its roots to the edge of this country and beyond. So we do wish you guys all the best. I want you to give closing remarks. I want you to talk to people that are suffering from suicidality, whether it's at the very early stages, they cannot tell, or someone who's actually contemplating suicide. Just a word, someone who would need to hear from a Rafiki, what would you tell them? Let's start with Milka.
Okay, I would like to say that the very big thing that would make you feel like you're hopeless would be feeling like you're alone. And that's why we are here as Rafikis, because we are here to provide social support. For anyone who is listening at home, whether you are contemplating suicide or you're struggling with suicidation, or suicidality, talk to someone.
Yes.
Talk to someone, give support, be kind. Sometimes you will find that what you say to someone might be the thing that breaks the camel's back.
Exactly.
So be kind with your words. And there's something that is going around about the current generation not being able to withstand pressure. Then there's also the perspective of, we just need the guidance.
Yeah.
We just need the guidance, we just need support, we just need to be propelled, and that's why we are here as Rafiki. So as Mentor 360, as Nakujali Project, we have your back, we can support you. Don't be afraid to reach out. We are very vibrant people, and we will support you in any way that you need. In any way that you need.
Perfectly said. I really do not think I need to add anything. I want to move to the other Mukami. Please give us the socials for Mentor 360. If Nakujali has also socials, and the way people can be able to reach out, and kindly repeat the helpline contact.
Okay.
Yes.
So before I get into that, thank you so much, Karen, for extending an invitation for us to come back. We are very ready to come back and continue this conversation.
All right. Yes, I think it is of utmost importance.
Yes.
Yes.
Again, before I get into giving my closing remarks, I also really want to applaud what the Kirinyaga governor is doing, because she's also rolled out a mental health program that aims to proactively prevent suicide. So I hope other governors can see what the Kirinyaga governor is doing.
Yes.
Yes. But I want to speak to anyone who's at home right now, anyone who's feeling alone, anyone who's feeling defeated, anyone who's feeling like they do not want to continue with this journey called life anymore, anyone who's feeling that no one understands them. I want to tell you that we are here, that we want to support you, that we care about you. Please call our helpline number 0710 360 360, and somebody will be ready to pick your call and provide you with support that you need. You can find Mentor 360 on all social media pages at Mentor 360 Kenya, and our offices are located at Langata, next to Jumbo Estates.
Yes. So Mentor 360 Kenya, you can find them online, and then of course there's going to be directions to the office, the helpline 0710 360 360. So 10 360 360. It's easy, it's memorable. So I hope that you are going to do that. Catch that in case for you or for a loved one or for a friend. You can call that helpline and you can actually get help. Thank you so much, ladies. It's been an honor and a pleasure and a refreshing conversation that is not that is geared towards positive change. I think we will always have time for those conversations truly. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to close our conversation number 2 on that note, because we are at 23 minutes past 9 a.m. and we have one more conversation to go. So stick around, do not go anywhere. When we come back, we're talking all matters plays. So stick around and we are going to have that conversation in just a bit. Right about now, we take a short break. I'll see you on the other side of the break.